I'm right here.
No, but who was the Leicester man that came in?
It was me.
Don't be silly.
It was me. All right. So we're hopping into our first game here. It's going to be on Vision. It's going to be the new payload game mode, at least the new updated payload game mode. And for the second time, technically, first time on air, we're going to be watching it now. There's Alpha Derezz on the orange side and Ignite on the blue. We'll be going head-to-head. And look at this, number 77, Foos, is immediately being thrown out of the gates directly into the other team.
Wow. He's been yeeted right in there. Ooh, yeet. And Nova's gone. Lovely little sound effect there.
That's a soundboard we have.
That was, yeah, that was built in. That was the Leicester man. He does that.
It's fine, you'll do sound effects for me later, right?
Yeah. Just cue them up. Push my buttons.
Delivery accelerated.
Ooh. That's how I feel whenever I see you walk in. Delivery accelerated.
Heart rate accelerated?
Heart starts pounding. Flamingo starts moving. The feet start tapping.
Well, my head gets accelerated when I see you.
Yeah, that does happen. That does happen.
Delivery accelerated.
We are seeing some momentum gain, though. And some ground.
Yeah, well, it was one fight, and they've already gotten 3/4 of the way through the first checkpoint.
They're still not stopping.
Yeah, they're still not, actually. Okay, finally, the person on top of the payload will eventually be killed off and will halt the progress, except someone's going to jump on it directly right after, and they're going to keep it moving for now. You can see the rest of the blue side trying to collapse against this Ignite, trying to hold this defense, but you know what? Alpha Derezz did it in one push, and sometimes one push is all you need to finish.
Uncontested the entire way, Jason. Not stopped once.
Payload mobilized.
Big. Very big. They're keeping that movement going as well. Instantly onto the second part as they're just driving their way through. And they're actually just hunting here. Sending out players, the little two-man squad, they're scouting ahead, they're ripping their way through everyone. Could this be the first time we actually see a completely uncontested push the entire way through?
You know what this says to me?
What?
Confidence.
And as we know, Echo combat is confidence. Without confidence, you've already lost.
Okay. Well, I think that's actually the new slogan for the new Echo game coming out. I think you kind of spoiled things and a broken NDA there. But you know what also was broken? The bear to the second checkpoint. Alpha Derezz again, now 5 minutes and 15 seconds on the board. We're actually seeing them be on pace with the likes of Gravity, on the pace with VR Respawn. They're actually ahead of VR Respawn's pace, and they're actually almost at the point of where Gravity was in our European matches that we had earlier on today. We'll see if they can continue this pace up, though. The aggression's going to work out, well, in their favor. Somehow they pick up an elimination without losing a single player, but they're going to lose out finally now as Nova goes down. Foos falls as well, and Dual Game, well, that'll be the game over screen for him here, unfortunately, but that payload is still continuing to move. I feel like if you're last man there, you should just backed away. Yeah, you got some distance, but you're almost likely to get that distance in a push anyway, so they have to wait a couple extra seconds, but luckily they do have seconds to spare.
Returning.
Now, is this where we actually see some kind of ignition from Ignite? They put their foot on the pedal and start to fight back rather than just limply throwing fists at their opponents? Or are Alpha Derezz just going to instantly dive back into it? Just like that, like an angry T-Rex, Jason.
Luckily no one can see that on air. I'm sure production was recording it. In the meantime, though, the payload is still pushing. Kodasaluth has fallen, unfortunately, but he's only the one casualty on the side of Alpha Derezz before my commentator curse might kick in here in a few seconds as a Nova will fall. But they're still doing a ton of damage. Again, the payload is still moving the entire time this is happening. I don't know why Ignite isn't keeping it contested, though, because now the payload is potentially in the home stretch. We're going to see finally someone come in. It's going to be Piacular. He's going to have a chance to contest it. He's going to be up against 4 players, and he's going to be immediately bursted down. He has to hope the other player's going to get here in time, or Alpha Derezz is going to finish with a massive time bank.
Oh, the vultures are swarming as they glide their way around. They contest it for a few seconds, but it's starting to move. Jason, that's no flamingo. It's an ostrich as it hammers its way across in record time. Probably the fastest cap we've ever seen. Looked like it was going to be completely uncontested from start to finish. Luckily, there was a little bit of a resistance, but when it comes down to the end, it doesn't really matter.
You can't taunt me and say ostriches and have no facts to back up anything about ostriches.
You moaned about my animal facts, so I put them away.
That's your ostrich fact.
Ostriches lay the largest eggs.
Not true.
Of all bird.
Not true.
Who lays the largest eggs?
You ever seen a pterodactyl's egg?
Yeah, but,
positions.
right, they might have descended into birds, well, evolved into birds. Birds descended from, you know, pterodactyls. However, they don't lay eggs because they're mammals.
Pterodactyls. Pterodactyls.
Yeah.
You sure about that?
No. That was a curveball fact.
Okay, well, I have a fact for you.
Go on.
Did you know ostriches can jump 10 feet in the air?
Really?
No, I'm making that up.
Ah, I didn't think so. They've got quite, you know, small legs.
But you know what?
What?
I said with confidence.
That's all.
That's why it was believable. And
Next
that's why
starting
confidence is such a big deal.
10.
Did you know,
9,
out of all
8,
birds
I did.
that exist,
7,
chickens are
6,
the only ones that can
5,
experience REM sleep
4,
and actually dream?
3.
That's not true.
2,
That is true. That's
No.
100% true. Look that one up.
Deliver the payload.
What about D?
D.
Okay, well, you didn't
What,
get that
from
reference.
It's Always
Yep,
Sunny.
yep.
There we go. Yeah.
Mobilized.
Pretty sure she has REM sleep. Look at this again. Look at this little push coming in out of Ignite. They're going to be 3v4 because they have the payload pushing the entire time. I'm actually surprised this was kind of working out. And it's a really questionable play because we've not seen... Well, we technically did see Alpha Derezz do it on their attacking half. Wait. Wait a minute. Isn't this the exact... Wait, what?
Payload returning.
Is this correct? I'm confused. I'm confused for a second. Okay, we're good. No, yeah, we're good. Sorry. I don't know why I got so confused there for a second.
Is it just caught you?
For some reason, I thought like they were replaying the first half, but no, we're good. Sorry, Ignite is on the orange side. Alpha Derezz is on the blue. We are in the second round. My bad for that one. Which is very similar to the way we saw Alpha Derezz attack as well. I thought we were the exact same, like replay out or something like that. But we're good. My apologies for that one. In the meantime, Ignite have been halted. The flame has been
Payload returning.
burning out. I don't know. How do you stroke a flame to make it bigger? What do you do to make it smaller?
Spit on it? I guess. Probably. They're moving the payload.
I don't know how much spit you have that you can like put out a
Well, how
raging
big?
fire.
I don't know. I was thinking of a
Like a
candle.
bonfire.
Right, well, probably not then.
I hope not. Unless you're just like drooling all over it.
What? One of those dogs that really slobber everywhere. All of them?
Payload mobilized.
Yeah, literally all of them. That'll deal with it. They wear a little firefighter hat.
Oh, that'd be adorable.
That would be quite cute.
We can see though, Ignite, they're back on the payload. They're going for a fight towards the northern half, but they've lost out on 2 players again. Number 23, Mr. Jordan here, Robo Creator, going to back off, and well, I think he's not going to have a chance against 4 players. He's trying to run away from this one, and he will eventually be cleaned up here. But Alpha Derezz seem to be a lot more confident when it comes to defending here than Ignite was. Then again, it's just been completely night and day between the 2 teams now in terms of how they've been attacking and defending and how smoothly it's gone for these teams.
Yeah, it's the sheer dominance that they came in with. They were just ruling with an iron fist pretty much for the most part on the opener, just demolished their way through. Just, you know, really trucking the entire way to the finish with only one small blip in the overall aggression they had. Now on the defense, they're doing a good job of actually keeping them at bay. We've got 20 seconds on the clock here. It really does come down to this firefight. They have to win this one, or they're not going to be able to take it. They will lose it right here, and that'll be Alpha Derezz actually walking away with the first map victory, and it seems like that is going to be the call. They'll have one final chance to try and tap it potentially as they come back over. Nope. They're not actually even going to be able to do that, Jason. That is Alpha Derezz claiming it. They demolished it on the aggro side, and they absolutely locked it down on their defense. I'm going to walk away with their heads held high off the back of that one.
Sorry, I was a sneezing fit there in the middle of that one. Thank you for carrying on for me. But yeah, that was one-sided. I wasn't expecting that. If we think back to the V Respawn game versus Tunnel Vision, I feel like that was even a closer match on payload, at least when it came to looking at this one.
It's definitely some changes there in the overall style. It was more actually sort of the mirror opener as well, which was the confusing part.
I was very confused. I apologize. I was
It's
lost.
confused him so much he started sneezing. It's hit him. Yeah, it's quite overwhelming. Confusion is quite closely related to pollen, so therefore
I'm hoping I don't have to sneeze right now, and then you just see
it all just comes out.
Yeah.
All of your love for VR Jersey.
I sneeze butterflies, so
Do you?
yeah,
That's quite
and
cute.
unicorns
Oh wow.
and rainbows.
You're like a Powerpuff Girl.
Chemical X was involved in my birth.
There you go. Sugar and spice and everything nice.
I think you can come up with 3 better things for me. Not now, not on there,
yeah,
not on there.
We'll figure them out.
So we move it over to Dyson here in a few moments with a map lead so far here for Alpha Derezz up against Ignite. I think it's a big game for them actually, because if they can like show dominance over Ignite, then there's a chance that if they can beat Kangarillas, like they can sneak through to 2nd place. If they can show us a skill discrepancy. We'll get there. Between like the 2 tied teams for 3rd place, then they have the opportunity just to focus on that one team. Just beat Kangarillas, get ahead of them on points, and you're going to be qualified through into the close qualifiers. However, if you don't, then you know you're the #3 team when it comes to Echo Combat in NA, which means you're probably going to win the last chance qualifier if you have a good day.
Yeah. You also kind of don't want to leave yourself in a position where on a leaderboard like that, you're letting someone else decide your fate. You basically want to be the one to, you know, really show up now in a position where you can still further that and secure yourself like that #2 spot, rather than being left up to the side of, are we even going to be that 3rd seed? Yeah.
Well, I think the game is just about ready to go, so we'll be hopping in just a few seconds. Again, to apologize for a little bit of a delay here. But yes, there we go. All teams are ready. Alpha Derezz over on the orange side and Ignite on the blue. I kind of wish, though, when it came to this, I hope it changes week per week, that it's not necessarily Dyson as the first pick on King of the Hill every time. I hope there's like a chance they can like veto, in general, like all the picks, so you don't necessarily have payload first every time. But then again, it does favor teams who are only good at King of the Hill that way.
It would be interesting. Obviously, another way to do it potentially could be to spice it in as the second map in the series. So that way, you open it up on the first, you then go into payload, then you have the decider being on control, which is a little bit more fleshed out in terms of what the players are experienced with right now. Obviously, they would have been playing payload as well, but it's just in terms of the competitive format we've been using here at VRL, it would have fitted more into that. Point unlocked, though. We're delving back into it. Alpha Derezz appear to have their eyes on the prize instantly to kick this one off. The instant opener. We see the 2 squads from Ignite. On either side, they're going to be hitting things in the middle. Will this convergence work out well for them? Looks like they're going for the choke points, the 4-man full frontal assault. That's the instant death of the left-hand side squad. But can the west side crew do any better?
Well, no. Not really, it looks like. Decided to just kind of shut that one down. We did have Foos get like a very nice respawn in. Ignite tried to go for like a two-person pincer attack on multiple angles. Problem was, Alpha Derezz got Foos to respawn in, and he basically respawned in right behind the 2 players towards the southwest side. So he was able to distract them, able to make the call that they were flanking, and the rest of Alpha Derezz just collapsed on those 2 players, which eventually gave him, you know, the solid control here of the point. 52% now and counting. Now Alpha Derezz are looking to close this out almost as fast as the payload map we just had on Vision.
And over. Goes for the 1-for-1 trade. Foos as well coming back into effect again, though. Taken back out by Robo Creator. It's quite an awkward, scrappy fight towards the close point now. One man being the eye in the sky has to get up close and personal. They're dinking each other down. But in the end, it is going to be Ignite that reigns supreme off the end of that fight. They've got time for the rotation to come over as well. Linked up by his buddies. But they can still try and battle this one if they want to. Alpha Derezz in a position to duke it out consistently.
Thing is, they've been able to successfully attack after quite a bit of time, but can they successfully defend now is going to be the question when they have the longer respawns. And well, I can already tell you, probably not, though, since they already lost out on 2 to 3 players. And Mr. Tally is now out of here. And Alpha Derezz have control yet again. And we're basically looking at the last attack here of Ignite. They've got, yeah, this is pretty much it. Like 72% counting. They're going to have like a really scrappy push into the final point if they don't attack right now. With just 1 or 2 players going to trail in. You can see holding towards the backside, number 11. That's going to be Caudasleuth. Is just going to be holding for any potential flanks. And, of course, the ability to flank in when they do need him. Backler does take down a Nova, and so does Dual Game and Cods. And now Foos the last man alive. So it looks like they will be successful in their attack. Ignite is burning bright like a light at night.
What a pretty sight.
What?
What a pretty sight.
Oh, I said I like yours better.
There you go. I like you better.
Cool.
There you go.
We're just friends, though.
No, of course, of course. Alpha Derezz, though, looking to try and make enemies with Ignite, Jason, as they bound their way in. Everyone just charging on, headstrong. Will they actually be able to pick this one up? The firefight trading equally at this point as it gets a little bit awkward. Nova barely holding on to his life there, somehow actually able to get that heal off as the Matrix will come through and regenerate him, and they will get it off the back of that. The first round going the way of Alpha Derezz as they hit that 100% mark.
Squad victory.
I'll say Ignite had some sort of life here in this map of Dyson, but it definitely took them a little bit of time. It took them about, what, 60%, and then they lost the follow-up fight after that, and then Alpha Derezz just won in general. Need to have a little bit of a stronger hold, but I think maybe a little bit more successful in that initial attack as well, or in their attacks. But again, I guess it's kind of where they were a little bit lackluster, thinking back to Fission when we're on payload, where they just could not really get any distance with that payload at all. But here we go, next chance. Luckily for them, they have a second chance here, at least on this map. They can take this map somehow and come back from being down. Oh my gosh, both teams going head-to-head, butting heads. I didn't know we were into a derby right now. That should be going the way here of Ignite, as they do have the man advantage. They have the health advantage, at least at the moment, but Nova's going to respawn back in. Oh, nice shot.
Makes his way on towards the point as well off the back of it. The little golden eye snipe.
So Tally just whacking Sleuth there.
Over the back with the, what was it, the slappers?
Point unlocking.
Oh yeah, those things like in SpongeBob, right?
No, it's,
The foam hands.
no, not the foam fingers. It's James Bond, you know, GoldenEye. You get the slappers.
Odd Job?
Yeah.
Jaws?
They walk around slapping.
Oh yeah. Isn't that like in GoldenEye?
I do.
Not GoldenEye, sorry. Austin Powers, Goldmember.
Austin Powers.
You know,
Yeah. My Faja, Jason.
I love gold. Well, right now, Ignite are loving life as they have taken the point. But again, it comes down to how long can they defend. They were successful in taking the point initially this time, but the problem was when they did take the point in the last round, they were not able to maintain that control. And here comes Dual Game over the high position, actually. Look at that damage. Oh my gosh, the splash damage. And of course, Flu's pushing as well at the same time. Complete pincer in Pacular. But they haven't got enough eliminations just yet. They only have 2 players left alive. It's going to be Duel and Nova, and they're fighting for their chance. They're fighting to take the point. Actually, they're fighting to maintain the point because they have taken. The problem is taking it right now and then losing the fight is going to work against you. But the respawns are going to be there.
Contested.
Pacular's going to be able to contest in the meantime to stop the percentages from being built up, and, well, he was there. And if you blinked, well, then you missed him.
That was beautiful to watch. Dual Game actually, you know, skulking his way along on top of the rafters. He looked like a John McClane. You know, now he knows what TV dinner feels like. Ooh, John McClane. Die Hard.
Point contested.
You mean McCain? The senator? John McCain?
No, unfortunately not. Unfortunately not.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Well, have you never seen Die Hard? It's the best Christmas
TV
film.
show?
It's a film. It's a good Christmas movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sounds like it would probably take place in Nagatomi Towers or something.
Yeah, I think you'd probably be right.
Contested.
Maybe.
Or at an airport. Or New York City, who knows?
Possibly. That one would Die Harder.
Well, we're not talking about Die Harder, unfortunately, because that movie didn't exist. But you know what? It does exist a chance here for Ignite. They have some initial damage done. Foos has fallen. Dual Game as well. They are prepared. They seem to be getting better. And that's something I can respect. They're definitely playing better as the series does go on. They're definitely getting better reads. They're spreading out a lot better, and they're collapsing and communicating, it seems to be, on a different gear than they were previously playing.
Yeah, they definitely do look woke up right now and ready for the action. Ignite proving themselves to actually be an opponent to feat against here with Alpha Derezz, not just being completely walked over. But here comes another fight. This time they're not looking as effective as they were. Already losing 3 players, make that the entire squadron as they've been blown out in a matter of seconds.
That's
Alpha
not good for a flame.
Derezz giving it.
It's not good for a flame.
No, I
being
know
blown
you
out.
don't want that because obviously, you know, some oxygen is good because that will help the flame.
A lot of oxygen is good.
Yeah, because it will grow. It'll increase the size of the flame.
Or if you're Charizard, you'll die.
Well,
Charmander or Chameleon, they die if they're...
Well, that's if they get rained on, because it's like it's really sad when it was the Charizard in the forest and he got wet and his tail nearly went out. Ash had to cover him with his coat.
If only you did.
Captured.
Wow.
It's Mother Nature, it's Darwinism, you know?
Sometimes it just be that way, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, Ash Ketchum's ruining things for the evolution of Pokemon. 90% now for Ignite. We're going to see the last tank here for Alpha Derezz. And they have all 4 players, I think, actually pushing directly into this one. I don't think they're going to be actually expected or prepared for it necessarily because we see the point already being captured. But Sleuth has immediately been dropped. So has Foos. Dual Game going to fall. And now it's all into a Nova who can't be on the point to contest it. Ignite have been able to fight. They have been able to get a point on the board here. They have to do it yet again to take it to a 3rd and final map.
Yeah, this is good actually though. We needed to see Ignite get some kind of momentum going through. Remember as well, potentially here, we do have another control point map coming up after this. They might actually be able to use that to their advantage. Obviously the opening payload map was very heavily one-sided for Alpha Derezz. This one looking a little bit closer. They're putting up a fair fist fight. They're landing a couple of hits, you know, they're bobbing, they're weaving, they're being able to avoid those killer blows. They can float like a butterfly or a flamingo, but can they sting like a frog-a-dog?
So if... What half would be the frog? What half would be the dog?
The head
Would split
the
down the
head
middle.
would be the dog.
Would be split down the middle?
No.
And like...
Just the head is the dog, and he has a dog tail, but the rest of it is all frog because he can only look straight. So he just hops forward.
Yeah. But where would he put his pants on?
If a frog-a-dog wore pants, would he wear them like this or like this?
I don't know. I can't figure it out. Maybe someone can help us out with that one. Okay, so back to the game here. You can see Alpha Derezz. Number 11. Codasu is sitting very far back here looking for some chip damage. I think he's been actually able to do that onto Pacular. He's actually been able to kill him off. See Mr. Tally, you know, thinking back to like Boop, what we saw before, where at a blurst, like thing is he was given so much freedom and so much free time to hit shots. And when you're given the opportunity to just aim and not have to focus about anyone on you, it's really easy to hit those. So Codasu has been eliminated eventually. Someone actually chasing down, I think it was Robo Creator. And Ignite should be able to contest this one and take this one back. The problem is Foos is going to be here. It takes down Mr. Tally. The Foos will pay his own price.
Robo Creator actually right now ridiculously ahead in terms of his overall DPS as well, Jason. I think it's about 3,500 in terms of the amount he's actually been able to get off. He's been looking very, very effective. We've also seen that coming out from Jewel Game, who's fairly close behind. I think it's about the 2,800 mark. He's been ripping heads off for the most part. Ignite finally going to get their toes on the point, though, as they've been able to force the other Alpha Derezz players to fall back, wait for the rest of the squad to come in, wait for that cavalry to arrive, and then get involved with a fight once more.
Someone called Mr. T because he pities the fools. Eventually goes down to Pacular. No, not feeling that one? Okay. So 2 players have fallen off, 3rd and the 4th. Looks like Ignite have some strong control here as the flame builds. The logs get added onto the fire, and that camp is going to be coming in true here. They have to wait for the respawns to come back through. Wing be joining in from the party of Spawn. I don't know why they're holding a party there, because the party should be on the point as everyone's invited and both teams are attending.
It's a point party. Let's get it. Robo Creator still adding to that increasing DPS that he's been ripping his way through everyone with. He busts through the door, waving the 4-4. And Alpha Derezz ain't breathing no more, Jason. Well, they don't do they normally breathe? I mean, you know, they're chassis, they're robots. They don't have any need for oxygen.
If anything, oxygen works against them because it will help with rust.
It would oxidize them. Yeah. And if they had any copper, it would turn green. Actually, did you know that copper is actually green until it's touched by oxygen? At that point, it goes the color that we know. More damage coming
what
through.
What color is that?
A light yellow.
I thought you just said copper. It's more of a brown to me.
It is quite brown.
Browny yellow. But you know it's also yellow? At least a shade of it. A little bit orange here for Alpha Derezz. They have control of the point. And the thing is, they've been losing like back-to-back fights here. Ignite's been able to pick up 54%. Alpha Derezz seem to be really lost for words and not really knowing what they can do, but somehow they've been able to break through that star defense Ignite put up. Now the point's being contested yet again. Here you can see Mr. Tally just immediately gets eliminated. He didn't even have a chance to really do any damage. And it looks like it's going to be going the way here of Alpha Derezz, able to put up a good defense here. They have lost 1 player, but oh my gosh, please don't do that again. What we saw earlier on, what was it? K-Feed is just dancing around constantly. I don't know how he can move his arms so quickly.
That bit of survivability there from Robo Creator as well actually pushed him over the 4K mark in damage. So he's like soaring ahead right now. He's really just been ripping and tearing his way for everyone that dares to defy him. Once again, they're throwing themselves back on the point. The body bounce coming through. They're trying to gain controls. They want to contest this one. They've taken a hefty amount of damage, but at least they've got those first eliminations. The respawns are coming back through, and they're just diving back in. Really not messing about when it comes to trying to delay Ignite getting actually any points here. But now they've got themselves in a controlling position. They could be the team that actually makes the move. The 3 players set up on the point, 1 lurking on the outside. Here comes the dive bomb attack from Alpha Derezz.
Well, next team to win this, whoever wins this fight probably wins the map, to be honest. 83% counting as Alpha Derezz has been able to take. The problem is now the respawn's going to be even longer. Nova and Duel going to be the last 2 alive here, up against quite a few players out of Ignite. I don't really know which way it's going to go just yet. Nova's still here. He still is helping keep this point contested. Up against a couple players, going to be looking to take down Mr. Tally. He's going to be able to do just that. He still has another player here. The respawn's not going to favor here Alpha Derezz. They're going to be flooded in from all sides. Ignite going to get control back. But for how long? At least, if anything, it's bot time for Alpha Derezz to get another attack off. But Foos isn't done just yet. He does get the elimination before eventually falling himself. But the reinforcements, the cavalry is now here.
Oh, this could be horrible, though. They just regained control of the point. The respawns, unfortunately, hadn't quite come through yet for Ignite. They're so staggered on the re-entry towards the point. They have to win these 1v1s, but they're just being purely spammed up. And over, not even being hit, being able to get in towards the back line. They do tap it. And Ignite are actually going to be able to regain control once more. This has been so segmented. It's flip-flopping absolutely ridiculously.
Okay, when I got 3 players, they have time to wait for the 4th. I mean, it's only 86%. They're going to contest it right now to maybe buy some time, try to pull off these 1v1s. The problem is Foos has already gone down. Mr. Tally just gets immediately healed back up from basically no HP. Duel Game's going to fall, and I think Ignite have been able to do it. I think Ignite are going to take us to a 3rd map.
I mean, if they win this one, surely 90%. The only way they have any chance of this not being taken is if Foos can dive on it, and he isn't going to be able to make it over there. Couldn't delay it. Instantly got taken down as well when he went to try and get involved with the action. Ignite. They split it 1 for 1. They keep it moving, meaning we are going to go over to our next control point map. And the way that's going to work could be quite spicy. Obviously, we saw there on the initial opener payload, it really looked clean cut, right? We kind of saw the two sides of, all right, we seem to know which team's going to walk away with this one. However, as soon as we get to control point, way closer. Whole different story.
Yeah, they looked better. Maybe they were like warming up or something, because they definitely didn't look existent at all when it came to payload. But even in the beginning of King of the Hill there, you saw they were struggling. Like, they did lose the first round pretty convincingly. But once they got used to it, once they got, I guess, the hang of the way that they were playing and their opponents were playing, then they kind of figured out what they could do. And they were doing a good job of, like, not jumping the gun, playing defensively, keeping people spread out towards the back of the actual point. Maybe a player pushed out as well at the same time. And they took it. Problem is, now we're moving into a different map, which is a completely different defending style. There's a lot more players going to keep on point. And then also, if you ever get caught out, good teams will punish you for those mistakes.
Yeah.
With their ability to move around extremely quickly.
It's also sort of the opportunities of attack that we see more commonly, obviously, in the previous map that we just saw. It doesn't transition over. You're not really able to go sort of those diaphragms from above. There's not as many options. It really sort of tends to be sort of more hunting parties that we saw, right? Where it'd be like two players would scout out. Yeah, that was kind of how it worked. It had a whole different sort of metagame in terms of the maps, but it was to be expected. One of them's way bigger, it's way more open, has those sort of options for different angles of attack, whereas the other one is pretty much more set in stone. You kind of know what you get with it.
Yeah, and I think I want to say like most of this map actually isn't even used in terms of like playing. It's just more of, all right, we now know we have a longer travel time to get back to the point to actually fight you. I think it's all about the difference of the actual point, though. It's a lot of like floating little islands, and it's mini little islands that you can kind of hide behind. There's the giant pillar in the middle that you can just dance around and stall for time. I think it's where you're going to see a lot of meteors, a lot of AoE damage, a lot of damage you hit in an area to make it easier to hit people who can bounce around really quickly on the point and just stall.
Yeah. Obviously, you'd assume, just with the game being set in a position where there is no gravity, the verticality would have a huge play into it, but this one definitely brings it into the main forefront of things, just purely because of how many up and down positions there are that you can hide behind and jitter around, sort of jiggle peeking out to be a major nuisance. Not only make yourself hard to hit, but also put yourself in a very good defensive angle to actually gain control of the control point. You can already see that setup coming through as well. Ignite, they were first to tap it, and they've all been set up near enough with each other so they can actually complement each other and put up a good overall team defense, but spread further enough out and behind these awkward little angles to make it hard for Alpha Derezz. But here they go, Jason.
Or Caught Sleuth will just hit a nice little snipe shot from range and give them the man advantage right off the bat here. And the point's been unlocked, and, well, there was not really much done here out of Ignite, especially when they lost out their first player, and that's kind of why you don't necessarily take that defensive position. Caught Sleuth was actually playing separated from his team, more towards the northwestern position, which is really great to see. I like to see teams actually doing that. But again, if you're Ignite, you see that, what you basically would do is, well, all right, ignore the 3, let's go chase after the 1. Get that quick kill, and then go for a 4-on-3 fight if they can do so. But either way, you can see now Ignite taking the northern position here on Combustion. And look at number 11 again, Coda Sleuth. He's just kind of off by himself sometimes. Just pay attention to him on the minimap. He actually might get rushed down here. Foos immediately gets just eliminated off the bat. Had no chance. And into the rest here of Alpha Derezz. And that's a clean retake here out of Ignite. Yeah, 47%'s been built up, but that looked damn good.
Yeah, that was very smooth. Instantly straight back into the action there. Going to be able to lock it down. Obviously, that opening firefight, they got wiped up in a matter of seconds. There was just nothing coming out from them at all. Now they're looking like they're starting to get the blood flowing a little bit more. Here comes the re-aggression, though. Alpha Derezz straight back into it. This time the 3-man hunting party going through with a flank in the rear. Coda Sleuth, what can he actually get up to? Can he snipe them down? The splash damage could be huge if he can actually get the connection off. He struggles to hit it. They completely overcommit on him, though. Losing a fair amount of health, but they have got those heals off. They can pop that and get themselves back ready for action.
Yeah, and that's what you should, I guess, be doing on the defense here, though it hasn't fully worked out just yet for Ignite. I think they're actually still battling out here. You can see Robocurry going to be flanking from behind. I think he actually trades there, and that will be Ignite maintaining control. Problem is they got the longer respawns. Now number 13, Piacular's just gonna have to back away and give this one up. Yeah, no point to contest this one right now. Just give it to their team. But a smart play and a good use of realizing Coda Sleuth was by himself. Problem was, I don't think they needed to send everyone there, but at the same time, You don't want to leave 2 players on point because they're going to be overrun by 3, so it's all about those man advantages. But they got the quick elimination in. Mr. Tally did obviously fall there, but either way, they lose control. And now they have to fight their way back here as Alpha Derezz is 25% and counting, just closing out this round.
Ooh. Near miss there coming through from Peculiar as he tries to land that shot. And it's a very interesting firefight. Peculiar is able to actually get 2 eliminations from it as an Over and Foos both get added to his talent. Jewel game responds back on a Robo Creator, trying to knock him off his high horse from what he did into the previous map. But Ignite will gain overall control here, bringing it up as they start to accumulate those points once again. Actually fairly close to 70 already. And they could tie this one up incredibly quickly. Alpha Derezz need to be rapid at getting back over here as they're swarming their way into the overall action, getting the early spams out as well. Codesloop trying to land the connections here from a fair distance. It's actually tagging them though. Ooh, beautiful dink from Mr. Tally as they are back on the point. Here we go. This is when the combat's going to begin again. The bloodlust will start coming out. They need to get control here as well. Ignite are at 91%. So they'd be able to win this in a matter of seconds. But Alpha Derezz take it with a commanding lead there. Everyone's been wiped up. No casualties on the side of Alpha Derezz. That is a full win for them. And there's not actually going to be a response from Ignite either. They're going to get this. Round 1's going to go the way of Alpha Derezz purely because of just how commanding they were on the retake. Ignite just had nothing to fight for. There was no chance, and they were nowhere nearby. It's that first round taken. So we'll move on now to round 2. Jason's still dead for the meantime. He's coming back. He's getting there. And you might have heard that. That was a Jason sneeze. He looks all right. He's getting there. He's getting there. We're back in the action now. As round 2 will come into effect. Obviously, Ignite. They really need to step it up here as we delve back into the fray for round 2. The instant aggression, both teams bounding their way in. Let's see if they can sneeze their way through this one.
Hopefully not, because I might pull a muscle. Oh, God. Dear Lord. All right, so I'm back for now. Who knows how long that's going to last, because I can already feel that tickle coming on, and so can they do it on the point? As there's 2 players here on the side of Alpha Derezz. Ignite only have, I think, 1 player there is being chased down. He's buying time, though, in Nova. Actually taking a lot of damage here from the high position, so a great little bait and switch, great little delay there. It's allowed Ignite to take the point, or they should be able to here in a few seconds.
Yeah, the instant free K there. To really remove any type of defense away from the point, put Ignite into a position to at least get some kind of early momentum. And they definitely do need it. If they could equalize it, go 1-for-1 on the rounds, and have a fair fight going down to the wire, would probably be the best idea for them. Did you get the spot there? Peculiar, realizing there's actually a player in the rear trying to flank around. They can now flank onto him, Jason. He has no idea. That's an instant snipe through, an Over completely removed. This could make it so much more awkward for Alpha Derezz in the site control.
Damage onto Mr. Tally. Just immediately got blown up from an angle he wasn't even looking at. And Alpha Derezz, again, they're getting control of the point, but it just works out against them because they have the longer respawn timers. Like, it's favoring Ignite every time they do this. And if anything, they need to kind of like fight them without taking the point and get the eliminations without taking it. But obviously, the closer you are, the easier it is to hit shots generally. I'm going to say generally because obviously we've seen how quick people can move around, you know, these objects to hide. But either way, Ignite, 47% and counting. This is looking very reminiscent of what we had happen on Dyson.
They got it very, very close. And they keep it closer. Really take this down to the absolute wire. Response is back through. The threat detector has gone out, though. They're going to have an inkling into what's going on here and actually try and take it headstrong. They're going to take them on, and it looks like they might actually be able to overthrow them as well. They get 3 of them instantly, looking for that 4th as they try and find the flick up, but it won't take long for Foos to be removed.
Oh, headstrong to take them on, but not really headstrong to take on anyone because they clearly did not have any sort of real chance there once they were spotted out initially, like you said, by the threat scanner. But 93%, they might be able to touch the point, but actually not even gonna have a chance to touch the point. Ignite will take us to a 3rd round here, so we're going the full way over the course here of this series. Still have 1 more to come up after this with Kangarillas up against Overhead. But Overhead are not in top 5, and Kangarillas are currently in 2nd place. Aw. It's like, oh, me? Oh, they're hugging?
Oh, he's giving a little back pat. There you go. Happy sibling pat. Just pat on the back.
So in esports, they hug. Traditional sports, they slap each other's butts.
Yep. Yep. Did what? Traditional sport of robots?
No, traditional sports in general.
Yeah, but, you know, robots can't really do that, can they?
I mean, they could.
Do they have buttocks?
I mean, if they're designed that way, yes.
We can install them. Next patch.
That'd be creepy.
Next patch, we'll bring them in. We'll bring them in with emotes.
Oh, yeah, another big battle. I'm so confused why these teams are fighting so early, so initially, because they're going to be on cooldown coming into the re-attack on both teams. See, Ignite lost out on 2. See, Foo's trying to chase down someone. Unfortunately, not going to be able to spot anyone just yet. Be playing towards the lower side, it seems, of the actual control position. But now Ignite have to come back in.
Point unlocking in. 5.
23's pushed up really far, actually.
3,
Nova, okay, so he's actually something spotting.
1.
Problem is now is number 11 again.
Point.
He's going to be the one being delayed. Mr. Tally's going to try to flank from a different angle. He actually might get a little bit too aggressive. He's actually be sworn by 2 players. Somehow he sneaks around. Robo Creator backs him up. He actually takes down a Nova to keep his teammate alive, and that actual little bait might have worked out completely in favor of Ignite.
It's actually ridiculous just purely how much splash damage Robo Creator is getting from these shots he's firing out. Nearly every shot he's firing is at least tagging someone. He's getting it in close enough range to really rip his way through them, leave them so soft and easy to crunch through for the rest of his squad. He's been incredible at setting up his teammates.
Well, if they're soft, do they get crunched through? Have you ever crunched into a soft taco?
They're still quite metal. That's the thing. They are made of metal.
Soft.
Yeah.
Even if you put anything crunchy in a soft taco, eventually it'll become soggy and soft. And crunch.
Well, not at first. Only after a while does it become soggy. When it oxidizes and goes from green into a coppery color.
Why is it oxidizing?
That's just the nature of copper.
What? Do you eat burritos with copper in it?
Do you not?
No. Again, UK, America, who knows?
Same difference.
No judgment.
Tomato, tomato.
Ignite, well, is there tomatoes in that too as well?
Sometimes.
Okay. I heard it goes really well with copper. Just like Ignite taking points. 60%. 40% away from actually taking the series here and putting themselves in 3rd place most likely, which gives them a good chance coming into the last chance qualifier. Actually curious to see what happens in the last chance qualifier in North America. Well, there's a lot of teams there that could compete for that position. But again, coming into the main event, the closed qualifiers, I don't know if they can battle against the likes of Via Respawn or Kangarillas. But time will tell, and just like time will tell how this fight's going to turn out, and it looks like it's going to be going all the way here at blue. And Ignite, I think I've done it here, Jackie. I think that's going to solidify their victory. You can see their arms in the air as well. And they've been able to pull off the comeback after losing payload in such a one-sided fashion. They've been able to take the next 2 maps on Control and King of the Hill and get themselves a W.
That's beautiful. And that's the one possibility we spoke about, right? It was the fact that obviously there was 2 control point maps to play out if they did struggle, and for the first hurdle being the payload. They tripped on the Flamingo, but they were very effective at being able to lock it down on the double bingo of control point.